Hi, get on, Will Perry here. How you doing? I hope you're well. I just want to come on here and give you an update, really, about this is a channel about emotional abuse. All right, all about emotional abuse. But things have moved on and developed since I started way back in. I did my first video here, and you can go back if you want, have a look at it. It's a bit cringeworthy. I didn't have glasses then. I was a bit thinner. My hair was a bit different, but you can see the development over the years. But anyway, 21st of July 2009, I did my first video on here because I was so passionate about it. I'd overcome my second abusive marriage, and I didn't know about this stuff. And I've been in the personal development or professional development field for over 15 years. And I really, it was like, how come I didn't know about this stuff? How come I didn't know about my emotional abuse? How come people don't tell you about this stuff? All right, so I became very passionate about it, and once I found out more and more and more, I was desperate to find out. I found out a lot about, there was a lot out there about victims, female victims, all right, of abusive husbands, particularly physically abusive husbands. But this emotionally abusive stuff, there didn't seem to be much out there, so I got very passionate about it. And on this day, I did the first video, and I just looked at it. It's quite. I'm glad I looked at it, because I think at that time I thought, I need to make a business out of this, so I need an intro and an outro, and I got that lovely lady, Australian lady, doing that. But I quickly dropped that. It was like, oh, that's not quite me. It's not authentic enough somehow. And I realised I just, you just do this stuff. You just put yourself out there, and people connect, and they have. It's had 71,641 views at this time. But that's nothing, compared to a cat falling off a sofa on YouTube. That's nothing, 2 million instantly, because it's a cat falling off a sofa. So what I found difficult was to help people connect and get the right people to connect with what this thing of emotional abuse is, and how it happens. So I've done that over time. I was a bit sporadic, and I thought, oh no, I need to do other things to make money, and this is my passion. Because that fitted. When I tried to make money out of this, it's like, I was a bit like, oh. But of course, I was overcoming my low self-esteem. So let me just briefly say now how I introduce it. That's the word I'm trying to say. So self-esteem is at the heart of every aspect of life. Every aspect of life. And will right royally fuck you up if you don't have it. Okay, so if you have low self-esteem, it will affect every aspect of your life. It's like the foundations of life. And if you don't have those foundations, if they're not solid, it's going to affect every aspect of your life. This is a hot rod. In fact, that's a hot rod too. So that's cool, really fast. But that's not a fast getaway. The analogy is, and it's not mine, having low self-esteem is like driving through life, or your life, with the handbrake on. When you're taught how to drive, you're taught about taking that handbrake off, but they don't teach you in life as you're growing up, wherever, about low self-esteem or healthy self-esteem and what happens if it's, they don't teach you this stuff. Okay, so as you find it out, it's like, oh, screeching, and other people are effortlessly going past being successful or whatever it is, and you're thinking, why? What's going on? Juddering with a handbrake on. Right, so we want to help you take the handbrake off. What it feels like is the stuff that's going on in your head. It's in your head. It's in your subconscious. It's a belief. Something you can't see, you're not aware of, but you think you're not good enough. You think you're not good enough. Maybe you think there's something wrong with you. You feel you're not worthy of success, worthy of that partner. You think you're so lucky. You shouldn't do that. You should be on level playing fields with a partner. You support each other. So that's not a healthy place to be in a relationship. But you might think that you're not worthy. You might think there's something wrong with you physically. That you're too ugly, or body's too something or other, or too fat, or too thin, or too ugly, or too. I thought I was stupid and ugly for most of my life, and I am not fishing for a compliment, all right, because I'm over that now. I've overcome my low self-esteem, sorry. And actually, on that point, I thought about this the other day. You wouldn't expect to see alcoholics propping up the bar in a bar, recovered alcoholics, they usually count how many weeks, months, days, years they've been dry, which is awesome. But they wouldn't, you wouldn't, arrange to meet purposefully in a bar, or, you wouldn't expect to see a bunch of them alcohol, and maybe they do, and that's cool because they can, right? But they might sometimes, particularly at points of stress, want to avoid that environment. That makes sense, does it not? So, because I've had low self-esteem but overcome it, Doesn't mean I'm the same as somebody that's always had it. And I find people that have overcome it have greater depth. That doesn't mean I'm better than people that have had, it's just a difference, okay? So I've overcome it, but I'm still have a vulnerability, if you like, to these thoughts that I'm not good enough, that I have a vulnerability to that there's an openness that I've had to repair and patch. I can go down there sometimes, but I pick myself up and bring myself back very quickly. Whereas before, what I did, when I had this programming in my head, not good enough, not worthy, too ugly, stupid, all this crap, was I'd self-sabotage, and I know so many people that I help are so much more severe in terms of self-sabotage, cutting, harming themselves, bulimia, anorexia, the depression, and the brain chemicals that we produce, create the depression as well. So even though you might be on antidepressants, if that's your thing that you do, that you're where you're stuck and feeling demotivated and stuck and just awful and depressed, even though you're on antidepressants, it's not helping the chemicals, the good chemicals, get to work in your head. So there's so much that you can do, but people just don't know about it. That's why I'm on about it, and I'm being really blunt. It will fuck you up if you don't have it. So I need to be really blunt. I need to get it out there because not many people are getting it out there. So this is really, the really important stuff. So when I first started doing YouTube, in those 8.5 years, it's done quite a lot. For me, that's good, but I know it's really low numbers. I've got 3,957, let's make it more, subscribers. But again, I don't really use YouTube much at the moment, so I know I need to focus better on this one. Again, I've never had that strategy to it. I haven't been strategic enough in my approach. I've gone, it's a hobby. No, can I make money? Oh, it feels awful because people often don't have money. If they're emotionally abused, they often financially withheld and controlled, and I understand that. So I give my time away for free, and that's what I've done in the past, but I'm not doing that now. I'm making a business about it, so I have more of a strategy. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I've got how many views? Cool. At the time of recording this, 547,360 views. That sounds immense to me. Yet again, a tiny clip of a cat falling off a sofa, it's nothing, all right? It's nothing. So I focused the channel on emotional abuse, and that's what it's focused on. That's what the tags are. That's what the views are about. And that's awesome. And I'm still about that. Absolutely, really passionate about that. Yet I know that before that, it's all about low self-esteem. People, aren't abused if they don't have low self-esteem. It's only people with low self-esteem that are abused, all right? And I don't mean sexually so much, because you can kind of be unlucky. You can be a victim of sexual abuse regardless of who you are or what you are. It can be a circumstantial thing, which is just awful. Yet just about everybody I work with has been, if they have had sexual abuse, they've had it early on in life, and it's impacted them, and patterns have repeated later on in life. Okay, so these are patterns, and sometimes it's really difficult to get your head around. But I've got resources, I've got free resources. Obviously, YouTube is one of them to help you understand this. More interactive one I've found is Facebook. So I want to tell you about that briefly. So I've always known about low self-esteem in terms of when I really started doing the YouTube stuff. I knew that low self-esteem was there, but even getting that out and explaining that was really difficult, I found. But now I've got a test, and there's a 2-minute test, and the link's here. So wherever it's moved to, whatever device you're watching this on, there's a link to take a test, and it dives into Facebook to do it via Messenger. So it's really easy. Just about the world and his oyster is on Facebook. So I make it really simple to access this stuff. There's 5 free Facebook videos that I did as live. They're there as recordings. You can interact and talk to me on them, and we can talk direct in Messenger. It's really, really, really simple because I want to help you understand whether you have low self-esteem or not. All right? Because if you don't have low self-esteem, I'm not your man. You won't get much value from me, so you can just say bye-bye. All right? Which is really cool because you don't need me. But if you discover in the 2-minute test, and it's really cool because it's a 2-minute test, so it's so accessible, so easy. And then it's you understanding that you have low self-esteem and that it's affecting you in all sorts of different ways, and maybe this stuff is familiar without just me telling you. It's kind of proof and evidence, which is nice, and it helps me get my case across and helps you with your listening if you have low self-esteem. So I've always had this channel about emotional abuse, but I've always known low self-esteem is at the heart of everything in terms of these things, emotional abuse. Emotional abuse precedes physical abuse. Doesn't always lead to it, but it precedes it. So somebody can't be physically abused without being emotionally abused first, and somebody can't be physically abused without being somebody can't be sexually abused without being first physically and emotionally abused. So it doesn't always lead to it, but I know it always precedes it. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm taking that holistic chunk and dealing with it on the main platform of Facebook. So I'd love you to dive in. If you want to, dive in on the page, use the link wherever it is, and dive in with me on Facebook, on the messenger there. The link, and that'll take you direct into me. You can take the 2-minute test. You can dive out again if you want. You're not hooked in any way. It's just a free resource, and it's really, really, really accessible there. So do comment below. I don't find it quite so easy with YouTube to interact quickly. With YouTube, I need to get better. However, with Facebook, I've set everything up recently so I can come back and be much more conversational with you and really help you understand this. So if you have low self-esteem, take the test, 2-minute test. If you find out if you have low self-esteem, I want you with the mini-series to really understand with 5 videos the different aspects of how that's going to play out in your life, how it will right royally fuck you up. Okay, because I want to help you avoid that. I get really passionate about that. Can you see my passion? Can you see my point? So if you have low self-esteem, I really want you to find out about it. Please share this stuff. Please share this video. Please like and subscribe. That's what I should say in the YouTube stuff, is it not? So please like and subscribe. Please help me get this message across, because I've got this passion. It's not going away, and it's not just about emotional abuse, because that often with people, unfortunately, it leads to these other aspects. But it's always about low self-esteem as well. So I want to help you more. And in fact, one of my clients has said, you're changing the world one person at a time. And I love that. I've taken that on as my mission statement, if you like, changing the world one person at a time. And I love that. So please help me to do that. If you dive into Facebook, comment, and we'll get chatting. I think it's a really nice way to have a conversation, to get access to the mini-series, to get access to the 2-minute test, and to really understand this issue, because it's so important. And I'm very passionate about it. Many thanks. Comments below. I will endeavour to come back to you. It will be quicker on Facebook for me. It's just the way my brain is set up at the moment. But I'm programming it to do more with Facebook. Actually, any suggestions, by all means, give me the suggestions. All right, many thanks. I hope that helps. Comments, I look forward to your comments, and many thanks. And please do help subscribe, like, rate, but also comment. All right, many thanks. All right, bye-bye.